In the wall, there is some more storage space right here. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, maybe some hooks or something, but they have these little flower hooks, and so I just use it to hang my little jackets, put my tripod here. Down here in this little storage looking thing, it's not storage actually, it's like a valve control for the pond itself. Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey here. I'm in the stairwell of my apartment building here in central Hanoi. This is my new apartment. I moved in about 3 weeks ago. I'm going to spare you the 6-story walk up all of these stairs. There's no elevator here, and that's a very common thing with villa apartments in Asia in general. But yeah, so this is the 6th floor rooftop apartment tour, guys. Let's go. So this is a communal washing machine right here outside my door. Yeah, this is my umbrella, my shoes. And this is not your traditional kind of a door. This is just a sliding door. Ta-da! And we are in my house. This is my brand new apartment. Okay, so before I get into it, I'm going to show you guys some cool stuff about the door here. So it does have this window that opens up, so I can get some nice airflow. This place is all about airflow. Let me go ahead and shut that in. And then what's really cool is that there is a sliding screen door. That is cool. I love this like accordion style sliding screen door. So, you know, I could slide the wood door all the way open and just have like a nice breeze coming through here. Yeah, so here's the bathroom. You can see there's a big glass door. I'll shut it so you can see what it looks like when it's closed. So that's the bathroom door. And on the inside, just a normal bathroom, you know. It's got a nice little round sink basin here. Good faucet. There's me. Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, up here, some storage space. And what else? Yeah, so there's blinds there, so at night I shut that down, so when I'm taking a shower, no one knows what I look like naked. But here's the view outside. This is the roof of someone else's place over there. That rooftop is not connected to this building. It's a separate building. Anyways, really nice to have this here. Lots of light. This is the towel rack. I have it up right now, but usually it's like this. But I have it up so that way it's just a nice like unobstructed view of outside. Some plants here. Here's the shower. So regular shower, and then it has the handheld shower head here, and it also has the rainfall shower thing here. So I can raise this up and down. I can swing it up against the wall when I open the door. Yeah, works nice and hot. And the Western toilet has a little bidet hose to like wash your bunghole and TP. So this is just like a very standard, simple bathroom. Maybe I'll do some stuff to it later to make it look a little bit more pretty, I guess. Let's look at the kitchen. So these are 2 gas burners. They are propane powered. Below is a propane tank. I did want to say something because in my previous apartment tour video, which also had a very similar setup with the propane tank underneath the stove, so many people in the comments were freaking out and saying like, oh my god, it's gonna blow up, you're gonna die. I just want to state that this is a normal thing in Vietnam and in a lot of countries around Southeast Asia. A lot of people, their fire is fueled by a propane tank in the house. Having a hardline gas line coming into the house, that's like a luxury. You don't ever really see that. Most people will have the propane powered stoves, or if they live in like an even lower income style situation, instead of gas, they actually use like charcoal bricks to create fire and then boil water and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is a normal thing. It's completely safe. I just turn off the propane tank at the valve on the top of the tank, you know, between use. So we got a lot of cabinet space here. Let me turn on some lights. Oops. Yeah, okay, so there's one light up there. And then what I really like is the lights here. This is from the Range hood. It's a nice fan. it has different levels, like medium, high, medium, low. And that's a very, very nice thing to have here when I'm cooking. Nice big sink basin. This is my drying rack for now. It's just like a strainer basket. It works, but I'm gonna have to get some kind of like a drying dish area here. I also probably need to just get like some drying rags, or cloths I should say, and properly dry my dishes after I wash them. Yeah, so here is kind of like a little pantry thing. Just I got bread and there's some noodles, there's a bag of rice. Very simple setup here right now. This is the drinking water. Clean drinking water gets delivered right to my door outside, and it's only 55,000 per bottle, and a 5,000 like delivery fee. So paying 60,000, and it's like, I don't know, like not even $3, or like just about $3 for this, and it lasts a very long time. Over here, got a hot water kettle, brand new. There is no microwave yet, but the landlord will probably put one here eventually, which is, like, to me, I don't care, because I just cook everything as is. I don't really reheat food anymore these days. This is my laptop. I have it connected to this TV. I don't know the dimensions, but I'm going to assume it's like 38, 40-inch TV, brand new. This fridge is good enough for me. I don't have much in the freezer, just coffee. But, down below I've got 2 things of kimchi, samjang, got some yogurts and whatever, eggs. Very simple stuff. I guess you could put whatever you want in here, stereo system or something. I just use it as like an informal place to put shit. This is AC and heater unit that works fantastic. This is a giant wardrobe. I have to do some laundry because right now you can see inside there's not many clothes left hanging. Usually there's a lot more, but there's my laundry basket, and I gotta get that going today so I can take advantage of this beautiful sunshine and dry my clothes. I really like this. Check this out. Oops, can't open it. But anyways, so when the door fully opens, not with that table in the way, I can pull this down, and it makes just getting stuff a lot more easier, as well as putting up laundry that's done and just hanging it up and then bringing it back up, and it's good to go. I've never had any kind of a wardrobe closet that had that. Over here along the corner in the wall, there is some more storage space right here. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, maybe some books or something, but they have these little flower hooks, and so I just use it to hang my little jackets. Put my tripod here. Down here in this little storage looking thing, it's not storage actually, it's like a valve control for the pond itself. So that's what you open that, and then it drains all the water in the pond, and then you can clean it and stuff. So this is my place, guys. Like, check it out. This is a studio apartment, and it was listed for $300 per month, and I just cannot believe that I scored this place. It's very clean. It's well designed. It's perfect for me. I live by myself. I'm not married. I don't have children. So for me, this is great. I also really like the storage unit stuff that they have going on here. So they've, like, this opens up, you can put stuff inside. In here is some stuff. Down here I have charcoal for the grill outside. Whole bunch of charcoal. Even the stairs here, like, not this one, but just this one only, there's like a storage space in there. So that's really convenient to hide away just a bunch of excess stuff. And check out this back patio area, guys. Especially today. You guys are lucky that this is sunny while I'm filming this. It's been cloudy for weeks. This is the first time I've seen sun like this in a very long time. Feels like forever. Yeah, so what's really cool is you can see I have the window open. This is a very large window that opens. This is very nice. And then up here, there's a closed window, but I have this one open with the screen down just to show you guys what it looks like. So I have that, and so I create really nice cross breeze. And then here's the door going outside, and there's a cool feature here as well. It's another sliding screen door. It's so cool. I love that. Now let's take one more look at my apartment from the top of the stairs. $300 a month, guys. All utilities included except for electricity and the drinking water up on top there. Let's go outside. Okay, so right here, here's some valves and stuff, and this is a filter. This is for the pond itself here. I don't know why it's not hooked up, but the landlord is an architect, and he's going to do some more like remodeling with this. He's going to drain it out, he told me, and then he's going to, I guess, like change the design elements in the center of it, and I don't know what else he's going to do, but yeah, so it's very green right now. It looks like it's just stale, like stink water, but it's not. It's totally, there's no odor or anything. There's actually 3 fish that live in here. One's a really tiny, like betta looking fish, and then the other 2 are like medium-sized goldfish, like maybe 5 or 6 inches in length. But they like to hide at the bottom of the water. And the water is not very deep. It's like maybe 6 inches or 7 inches deep. I know it looks kind of weird right now, but I promise you it's not bad at all. Yeah, and then once the landlord actually drains out the water and puts in new fish and like fixes whatever elements he wants in here, I'm gonna see if he can add more fish and get some of the bacteria that you can buy, and you can put it in the water and it kills mosquitoes, and it doesn't harm the fish or the plants or anything else like birds or whatever, but it just kills the mosquito larvae. Yeah, so this is my place, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. There's some design elements here. That one doesn't operate. It's like kind of like a waterfall thing that shoots out. Over here, this one does work. Let me turn it on for you. The switch is on the inside of the door here. There it is. So it's another garden kind of feature. But for me, it's really not peaceful sounding. Like, I don't feel relaxed or anything. Like, I just feel annoyed. Like, someone's peeing in my pond and they aren't stopping. Like, it just continually sounds like pee. So yeah, that's annoying to me. So I just keep it off. But let's go take a look out here on the back deck. It came with this grill here. You can see it's a little messy right now. But I can do some barbecue there. I've cooked on there a few times already. It's got this really large, like, kimchi looking pot. Maybe I could like flip it up and fill it with something, and maybe plant a tree or do some kind of cool design element here for the back. This is just like the landlord's like work mess, I guess. I'm gonna figure out how to like organize this stuff. You know, got a little shovel and stuff. Yeah, here's the netting to, you know, clean the water, get the leaves and whatever out. Yeah, freshwater hose. And then over here was a tree, but the tree was completely dead. It was totally dried out and rotted out. So I just pulled it down, borrowed a saw, cut it up, and then now it's over here under the stairs. I'm just keeping it there so it's dry, and then I can use it as like firewood or something in the evenings. Yeah, there's this little like faucet spigot thing, but it doesn't work. Here's some patio furniture. This is really cool because it's heavy, heavy stone. It's not going to fly away anytime soon. And nice, heavy metal chairs, a little bit rusty, but yeah, just really chill. I love this corner with all the palm plants there. Creates a nice little shady corner. There is this umbrella thing right here. It doesn't have any kind of like a canopy to prevent from rain, but in the summers or like when it's a little bit more warm outside to just be hanging out all the time, I'm going to open that up and then drape some lights on it and create some kind of a cool outdoor chill spot in the evenings. I really like this textured wall feature. Like, it's subtle, but it's really nice. And at night, when the lights turn on and shine on it, it creates a nice shadow. Yeah, this is my place. Oh, let me show you guys a little bit more here. So there are some bushes here. Right now there's no leaves on them, but I can kind of see some baby leaves popping in here. So once it gets a little bit warmer, the leaves and stuff will pop back up. It'll fill in this like empty looking spot, and that way the neighbors across the way won't be able to fully see me in my apartment when I'm walking around naked. But let's look over the edge too. This is on the 6th floor. And this is it, guys. I'm in central Hanoi. The Hanoi train station, the main train station, is just down the street there. It's behind that big white building. But it's right there. I could walk there in like 5 minutes or less. Very convenient. I really like this neighbor's place across the way. I love the trees. Like, there's just so much green. Okay, now let's go check out one of my favorite places in my entire apartment setup, and it is the roof area on top of where I sleep. Let's go check it out. It does have this kind of steep wooden staircase. You just hold the railing and you're good to go. And this is it, guys, up here. This is a little bit dirty looking. It's because it actually is dirty, but it's mainly like storage. The landlord put a bunch of just old stuff here. These are old like filters for the pond. I don't know why he's keeping them. They're used. There's like some pieces of stone here. Maybe I could use for a project or something. Just like really rusted out chairs. There's this like severely rusted bike. Does anyone know what model this bike is? Is this a Schwinn? I don't know. Anyways, it's extremely old, and maybe I could use it as some kind of like a design element up here. Maybe wrap it with some vines or something. I don't know. Yeah, here's water tanks for the building. There's an unused satellite dish. There's some like scrap wood from I guess when he built the deck. But let's take a look at the view. So this is the same viewpoint from out the bathroom window. So we're actually on top of the bathroom right now. And yeah, you can see this is very swanky looking building right here. Yeah, so I really like coming up here. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff to make it look a lot nicer. So you can see it's black, right? It's just dirty, like from water sitting and stuff. But this area, like just right here, I want to put some kind of like raised wooden platform thing, so that way when it rains, the water just goes between the slats, and then the top just remains clean and can dry out. That way, we can walk around up here barefoot and chill and stuff and, make use of this space. I think it's a really cool space. All of this stuff was all just right there, and I just pulled it forward and created this like little mini chill spot. Haven't even wiped the table yet. As you can see, it's really dirty. This is a stove for burning like paper and wood. You see a lot of this around Vietnam. People are burning like ghost money and stuff here, but you could burn whatever, so I might use it for like a fireplace up here, just kind of keep warm, use all that wood from that dead tree I cut down. Yeah, so this is central Hanoi, guys. Like I'm like a 15-minute walk from Hoan Kim Lake. Hoan Kim Lake is in that direction, and then actually that tall building right there, at the base of it is Hoa Lo Prison. It's where Senator John McCain was, prisoner of war for like 5.5 years at the prison, right at the bottom of that tall building. It's like right there. I can't believe I'm that close to that prison. Yeah, so there's a lot of other cool stuff. The Red River is that direction, maybe like a 5-minute bike ride down that way. 5-minute motorcycle ride, I should clarify. That center right there is kind of like an art center. They do like theater and musicals and other kind of like events and stuff there. So that's kind of cool to be right there. And oh yeah, so these two white stacks here, they're actually chimneys. And so like the lower floors, like the 4th floor and the 5th floor, they have their own fireplace. And so these are connected to those fireplaces. I haven't seen any smoke come out of them yet, so I guess people just don't use their fireplace here. I don't know. You can see these potted plants here. These were scattered like all over down there and up on this roof area. And so I just brought them all right here and I made a row. Just kind of create like a cool barrier, so that way you don't like accidentally walk off into the pond and die. You would definitely hurt yourself. But I can't believe, guys, like this is where I live. This is my essentially backyard, and it's so nice, and I have this rooftop view, and it's just so nice up here. Like, this is so chill. Central Hanoi, $300 a month. So you've seen what this place looks like daytime, especially on a nice sunny day. It's very beautiful, very gorgeous. Now let's take a look at it when it's at nighttime. So here we have it, guys. Just standard night here in central Hanoi. Using my cell phone to create a light here. Let's go downstairs. And here it is, guys. This is my apartment at nighttime. It's got the nice shadows that I was talking about earlier. You can see on the wall here from the light. And there's one light down there in the water. And that's what the place looks like from the outside. So you can see the bed and the lighting and stuff. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this apartment tour video. $300 a month. This is my rooftop apartment here in central Hanoi. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you for all your support. Ask any questions and comments down below. I'll answer everything as well as I can to the best of my knowledge. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Of my important documents. So this, life is good. This little kind of like folder thingy. I got it from Walmart. All of my important things are in here. So it's like, it has like tabs. I don't know if you guys can see because the lighting is terrible. But it has like a bunch of tabs. I have my lease. I have my emissions that I got.
Crisis situation at the moment.
This is her story, and it is told by a man with a dream to see lions back on the plains of Luau. It is a dream that turns into a 6-year journey. many setbacks and disappointments. To resurrect a lion kingdom in the wild is a daunting task. It is a story of faith, perseverance, and the remarkable relationship between a man, a lonely lioness, and the desperate struggle to re-establish a pride. The indigenous people of Lua know that a single lioness roams this plain. She keeps a low profile. There are more than 6,000 people living on these plains, and most of them are fishermen, crop growers, and cattle farmers. A sedentary cow is easy prey, but she avoids the villages, and she doesn't target their cattle. Instead, she perfected the art of surviving on her own. Without the help of a pride, this lioness had to adapt. When she hunts, the combination of patience, power, and speed is spectacular. This female is about 6 years old when she steps into the viewfinder of Herbert Brower, a wildlife cameraman.
She'd been rarely seen, and if then only at a distance. But suddenly there she was, right in front of our eyes.
Herbert is captivated by her and returns to the floodplains of Lua year after year. It comprises 3,600 square kilometers and borders Angola in the west. The bank of the Zambezi floodplain marks the eastern boundary of the park. People living here tell Herbert that the lioness has been alone for many years. They call her Lady Lua. The Lopez clan. They stand their ground, but the noise attracts a far more dangerous animal. Turns into a 6-year journey with many setbacks and disappointments. To resurrect a lion kingdom in the wild is a daunting task. This is her story, and it is told by a man with a dream to see lions back on the plains of Lua. It is a dream that turns into a 6-year journey with many setbacks and disappointments. To resurrect a lion kingdom in the wild is a daunting task. It is a story of faith, perseverance, and the remarkable relationship between a man, a lonely lioness, and the desperate struggle to re-establish a pride. The indigenous people of Lua know that a single lioness roams this plain. She keeps a low profile. There are more than 6,000 people living on these plains, and most of them are fishermen, crop growers, and cattle farmers. A sedentary cow is easy prey, but she avoids the villages, and she doesn't target their cattle. Instead, she perfected the art of surviving on her own. Without the help of a pride, this lioness had to adapt. When she hunts, the combination of patience, power, and speed is spectacular. This female is about 6 years old when she steps into the viewfinder of Herbert Brower, a wildlife cameraman.
She'd been rarely seen, and if then only at a distance. But suddenly there she was, right in front of our eyes.
Herbert is captivated by her and returns to the floodplains of Luwa year after year. It comprises 3,600 square kilometers and borders Angola in the west. The bank of the Zambezi floodplain marks the eastern boundary of the park. People living here tell Herbert that the lioness has been alone for many years. They call her Lady Luwa. When she rolls for him, a bond develops between them that will have far-reaching consequences.
There was one thing, though, that she could not overcome, and that was her isolation. It took me 3 years of filming here on the plains, though, to understand how lonely she really was.
At night, she follows Herbert into his camp. He would never expose himself to wild lions on foot, but he instinctively knows that she means him no harm. It is true that female lions can survive on their own, but they only thrive as members in a pride. Is it possible to find Lady a mate? And could they produce cubs and form a new pride? These are the burning questions facing Herbert and experts at African parks. Craig Reed, a manager at African Parks, and veterinarian Dr. Ian Parsons face a dilemma. Reintroducing a full pride of lions into Luwa could cause havoc. If one cow is killed or one person attacked, the local population would be up in arms. If they find her a mate, she will hopefully teach him and their cubs to stay away from cattle and people. The project is even more viable if she can transfer her impressive hunting skills. It takes 4 years of detailed planning to get the project off the ground. Lady is now collared to keep track of her movement. The average age of a lion in the wild is 16. She has about 6 years to produce a litter. To find a mate for Lady, the team goes to neighboring Kafue National Park. Audio recordings of lionesses lure the males. Wildlife vet Dr. Ian Parsons darts 2 males. As a coalition, they stand a better chance to survive the trauma of a translocation. The big question on everyone's mind is whether these 2 males will bond with Lady. If they do bond with her, she might be able to teach them how to keep a low profile and avoid the villages. The 2 lions wake up in an enclosure, or a boma, right in the middle of Lady's core territory. One of the males is 3 years old, the other a bit younger. Lady is almost 8 years their senior. The age gap is intentional. Older lions might not submit to Lady's authority, Hopefully, these youngsters will. This is the first time in years that Lady has set eyes on her own kind. She keeps watch as the two males familiarize themselves with their new home. The first piece of the puzzle falls into place. But then, disaster strikes. On the 5th day in the Boma, they escape. Finding themselves in a strange environment, they could take fright and bolt. To Herbert's relief, he finds them a few hundred meters from the enclosure. Lady's response is odd. She rolls to show them she is not a threat, but she doesn't approach them. The males are aware they are in her territory. Everything is new. It's going to take time to adjust. Before she leaves, Lady marks the territory with her urine. It's a strong message. She's the landowner. They are the squatters. And then she leaves them. The presence of 2 new lions in Lua has a huge impact on the local residents. It's not only villagers that are now at risk. The arrival of the 2 lions jeopardizes the hyena's position of power. Together, they make a fearsome team. Only the younger of the 2 wears a collar, as they are almost never apart. The acid test is to see whether they will mate with Lady or leave her to seek other females. It's a precarious start, but the journey has begun. Almost 3 years go by without incident. It's November, the beginning of the rainy season. Thousands of wildebeest pour into Lady's territory. The males are hardly recognizable. They are now almost 6 years old, and their bodies are beefed up, their manes more pronounced. After all this time, they're still together and have bonded with Lady, who seems to be doing all the hunting. She targets wildebeest, almost twice her size. With a powerful bite to the neck, she suffocates her quarry. It's all over in minutes. The meat from a small calf could keep her going for a few days, but she's not hunting only for herself. As the most experienced hunter in this trio, she is happy to share her kill. The fact that she allows the males to join her, and that they don't chase her off the carcass, is significant. Eating together is the first building block of a pride. Her reward is companionship. The males get the lion's share of her kill, They gorge themselves and can eat up to a quarter of their own weight in one sitting. For the first time, Herbert sees the two males compete. It is the younger of the two brothers that emerges as the dominant male. He's the one that follows her when she's in estrus. He grimaces, curling back his lips to expose an organ in the back of his mouth that picks up faint chemical pheromones. He can smell that she's in heat. It's the dance Herbert has been waiting to film for years. The brother watches from the sidelines. Lady stays receptive for several days and copulates frequently. Both males stick to her like glue. They won't fight over her. As members of the same coalition, they come to a gentleman's agreement. If the dominant brother tires, the other might get a chance to mate as well. Now she rolls, not to greet Herbert, but in submission. When Herbert returns a year later, there are still no cubs. It's a huge disappointment. Lady is now almost 13 years old, and Herbert and the team must consider the possibility that she is infertile. If that's the case, the males might leave her and start roaming, looking for other females to propagate their bloodline. And that will bring them in direct contact with villagers. The team decides to import 2 young females. And that takes them back to Kafue. Again, the team faces a dilemma. If the females are too old, they might injure Lady or drive her out of her territory. Too young, and the males might kill them. Dr. Ian Parsons oversees the translocation.
We need some water just to keep them cool while we're traveling. Alright, antidote. That's not very fast acting. Takes about 15 minutes to work.
Tranquilized and blindfolded, the 2 females begin their journey to Lua. Their arrival is coded in irony. The tribe settled here more than 100 years ago on the orders of the first king to protect the wildlife. But many of them have never seen a lion. And yet lions have always played an important part in the biodiversity of Lua. African Parks aims to restore the imbalance. But this is only possible if Lady remains the central character. She has to teach the new arrivals the lay of the land, and teach them to keep away from villages. The question now is whether she can transfer these skills in time. The 2 lionesses are collared with radio transmitters before being released into the enclosure. Lady's world is about to be turned upside upside down once again. To Herbert, she seems sad and confused. She turns her back on the boma and heads north. The males, on the other hand, are very interested. And gently explore the strange intruder. A giant can reach 20 feet from arm tip to arm tip and weigh in at 200 pounds. It's the largest octopus in the great clan called the cephalopods, the group that unites the octopus and squid. It's an ancient tribe, the first large predators in the sea. To this curious female, we're a brand new species. Cephalopod means head-footed, a good beginning in deciphering the octopus's amazing design. The head and body are encased in a large, soft sac, and the foot, derived from its distant relatives, the clams and snails, has become a siphon, a water jet to propel it in any direction. A long time ago, its ancestors wore a shell, but the octopus has given that up. Yet for creatures with such tasty flesh, the lack of protection presents a problem. The cephalopod solution? The most extraordinary skin in the animal kingdom. In an instant, it can change color, pattern, and texture. And with no bones to confine its shape, the creature can virtually disappear. Another female lies sequestered in her den, tending to her brood of eggs. She lays up to 100,000 just once in her life. When they hatch, she will die. These clever, curious creatures won't live long at all. Their entire lifespan is no more than 3 or 4 years.
transparent babies are no bigger than a grain of rice, but within a year, they'll be giants. While the lives of these complex beings are all too brief, their line reaches back 500 million years, long before sharks began swimming the seas.
This would be a great spot, right in here.
Peter Ward has spent 35 years delving into cephalopod family secrets. He's brought Bob to a special outcropping of rocks. They were once well submerged in a much warmer sea and still hold a record of that long ago time.
Fossils are found in these rocks. Fossils of relatives of the octopus, actually. They're called ammonites. And how old are they? 80 million years in age? 80 million years. That's true. That is old.
Back in those days, cephalopods made beautiful curved shells.
If you dig long enough and hard enough, you can find some beautiful stuff. This is an ammonite. It's a fossil that is actually the direct ancestor of octopus. So this is an ancient cephalopod. It's related to the chambered nautilus. So the tentacles sat here and swam about.
A shell is a mobile home and a defense against predators, but it's so cumbersome it makes swimming difficult. Of the almost 1,000 kinds of cephalopods alive today, only the nautilus still wears one. It's a living fossil, puffing along the reefs of the Indo-Pacific as though nothing has ever changed. Bob returns for one last dive with the octopus.
I couldn't resist bringing her a treat. All cephalopods are carnivores, and they love crabs. This creature actually reached out to me. I could sense her interest, her intelligence. I could see it in her eyes.
There's something about the eyes of these animals just draw human observers in, and especially with the octopus and the cuttlefish, they definitely make visual eye contact with you and maintain it.
Dr. John Forsyth studies these creatures' amazing physiology and complex behaviors.
And I've come in and played games with octopus where I'll duck down, they'll raise up and look at me, and then I'll raise up and they'll duck down, and this will just go on for 15 or 20 minutes. Like this guy, I can barely see him over there, but if I look up, see, he's coming up. Because I think they look for our eyes. I think they try to make contact with our eyes as well. And I think that's what draws us into watching these animals. Whereas a fish, sometimes I look at a fish and I'm not sure where it's looking. They just have these blank, cold stares. But with a cephalopod, it's really never like that.
At the National Resource Center for Cephalopods in Galveston, Texas, John maintains quite a collection. There are several kinds of octopuses, a school of small squid, and another relative, the cuttlefish. For John, the eyes of a cephalopod are not just the windows to its soul. They tell you a lot about how the animal lives. The octopus has a rectangular pupil that captures light reflected off the sea floor. Squid's large round eyes are adapted to seeing darting prey in the twilight of the open ocean. Cuttlefish dwell in both worlds, and their complex eyes can actually change shape to accommodate their travels. But it's not in their eerie eyes that cephalopods reveal their inner feelings. It's in their remarkable skin. Millions of tiny sacs of pigment, called chromatophores, dot their skin, each controlled by minute muscles. With a little flexing, a cephalopod can flash with rippling bands of color. Any sort of excitement, danger, desire, aggression, passion, and their skin lights up. For creatures with no vocal abilities at all, this is the way they communicate, in a language of light and color. And like an octopus, a cuttlefish can transform its texture, matching its surroundings, hiding in plain sight. Given their camouflage capabilities, it's no wonder we're still learning just how many kinds there are. One of the hotspots for new discoveries is the narrow Lembah Strait off North Sulawesi in the island chain of Indonesia.
It's a pretty scenic spot. It's joined, isn't it?
John and Bob have come here looking for new species of cephalopods. It's a place primed for strange adaptations. In the shallow, warm water, light and temperatures remain constant. But the channels, inlets, bays, and lagoons create many small separate habitats, and that leads to high diversity. This is John's fourth trip to Lembah Strait, and each time something surprising turns up. He's brought Bob to a spot called Ritaklari, which in local slang means the muck. At first glance, it's a vast, flat disappointment. But wait here quietly, and a lot of what looks like sand begins looking back. From the still of the muck to the roaring straits, a lot of effort goes into not standing out. Drifting reeds are actually floating razorfish. And the end of a few branches turn into ornate ghost pipefish. Out in the high-speed tides and swirling eddies, fish work hard to keep their footing, digging into the bottom with spine-like fins. But even creeping along on the seafloor, you still have to make a living. A harmless-looking weed rolling in the current is a hairy frogfish trolling for a meal. It comes equipped with its own strange lure. The sand offers the best retreat, but the crab has already been spotted. A marginated octopus is the perfect little predator here. Good camouflage, good eyesight, soft-bodied octopus has one more weapon up its sleeve to subdue the crab's claws: venom. It finds a chink in the crab's armor, injects a neurotoxin, and the struggle is over. In such an open setting, the trick for every creature is to find some place to hide. An octopus fits in just about anywhere, and John finds one tucked into a piece of discarded pipe. Perhaps there is something in cephalopod memory that recalls having a shell. Bob and John find this little octopus ambling along with a dark brown bottle tucked under his arms.
The bottle turned out to be his home, and he took it with him everywhere. So I thought I'd offer him a new fancy place and see if he's interested in trading spaces. I began to worry he might get confused by this clear glass and wouldn't remember how to get back out. But after a few minutes, he slipped through the opening and went straight back to his old brown bottle. He'd made his choice. I think the clear glass was a little too bright, and besides, there's no place like home, especially when you can take it with you.
In the husks of old coconut shells, they find the pearl-like eggs of one of John's favorite creatures. It's a tiny cuttlefish that's seldom seen after it hatches. It remains so small and well camouflaged that it takes great practice to find it. Down on the sea floor, it appears to walk across the bright stones, its rippling colors blending in and standing out. It's called the flamboyant.
The flamboyant cuttlefish is really in a class by itself, even among cephalopods in a lot of ways. First of all, the vibrant, dynamic, bright colors, the brilliant yellows, the magentas, the pinks and browns. It adds on top of that these passing clouds of color as it's stalking, looking for prey. And of course that's happening in living skin.
Are surprisingly bold. The flamboyant actually seems to like being under the lights. It begins hunting as soon as we start filming. My video lights attract them.
Not far away, a small octopus has been eyeing the scene. John reaches out for a better look.
Every time I touch one of these animals, I'm not gripping it or holding it. My intention is never to frighten the animal in any way. However, I am trying to keep it close to where I can get a good look, but at the same time, the animal knows at any moment it can get away if it wants to.
This octopus gets away all too soon. John thinks it may be a brand new species never seen before.
I don't know, Bob. I'm not sure what that is, but it could be a new one. I think it could be a new species. I wasn't expecting to see that.
It's not something you've seen before, huh?
No, I'm not sure what that would be.
It's a cool little critter.
Wild.
The waters of Sulawesi are full of new discoveries, and one is an octopus designed with a special brand of disguise. It lives in the same waters as the banded sea snake, whose bold stripes announce its potent venom. These are banded arms that can make the same impression. When disturbed, the octopus flashes and intensifies the stripes, becoming a sea serpent, coiled and deadly. The creature has not yet been named by science, but it is known to be a fraud. It's a shy nocturnal octopus, and unlike the snake, its venom is virtually harmless. Its stripes are simply a ruse to intimidate would-be predators. The real killer is a delicate jewel-toned creature, the blue-ringed octopus. The flashing blue neon is no false alarm. Its poison can immobilize every muscle in the human body. There is no antidote. But all it's really after is a crab. The blue-ringed is notorious along the coast of Australia, but it's one of Dr. Mark Norman's favorites. As curator of marine invertebrates at Museum Victoria, his fieldwork in all 7 seas has revolutionized what we know about cephalopods.
It's really hard to estimate how many species of cephalopods, or in particular octopuses, we have worldwide, because we're still in the period of discovery. They thought there was about 100 species of octopus in the world, and we've found 150 new species in the last 10 years through the Indian